irrelevant the rest of the week.
I mean, it's easier for me now, but it was a lot harder. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it seems like it kind of starts out hard. I was slowly in, I was sitting working, and we don't even have anything prepared.
I mean, and
It's,
let's be honest. This is a literally peak show performance right here. We're going into a
yeah,
show,
we're.
no topic, literally not a single topic.
Oh, there's things I could talk about for hours, but that really depends if you want me to talk about it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm probably gonna let you. I might just sit back and let you have at it, considering the fact that I'm arena up. I can get a
I mean,
rank. I can get a
fair.
rank grind. I can get a rank grind going.
Oh, I kind of want to do a rank grind, but I don't like arena.
Yeah, arena's kind of. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like arena's kind of AIDS me. Not gonna-
Oh god. You know what? I do kind of have a topic, but it's gonna be like a short tangent, and that's I don't know if that's gonna be a short tangent actually. Kind of a topic that came up yesterday when I was about to go to sleep.
Hmm,
So,
that's fair.
surprise! Controversial topic. Hmm.
I mean, what else is new? Like we've kind of gotten that nailed down, sort of.
Yeah, I think we could get away with it because we've already gone in with the expectation that people are not going to like our show.
But that's
So
that's the
just
show.
like,
That's our show, though. Like my usual content is usually just Elite Dangerous or whatever the fuck I'm feeling like.
okay, so if I started record, oh shit, I can't start recording because I don't have a headset. Well, I
Uh,
do have a headset. I have earbuds, but I don't. Ah, um, there we go. We're live here.
I mean, it's not much, honestly, considering
Yeah.
the fact that the fact that I'm able to stream plus have this download running at the same time is kind of amazing.
So we've got tags for the stream, right?
I mean, we really? I have a countdown to Odyssey. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just like fucking around. I'm like getting up. Like I'm moving some cards around. I've got like a foil merit lage token, which has the backside of an elephant that I might slam into a sleeve and then slam into my EDH deck. But
Yeah. So yeah, I got a couple things. What a fest.
do we just want to
Sorry.
like? You want to just tell me what they are before we like hit it? Because or are you just gonna send me into the abyss blind?
Uh, so it came up yesterday that somebody posted how free counter spells and magic basically were in the game for them. It was kind of an interesting thing because somebody got downvoted to oblivion for saying, yeah, this is kind of a problem that magic is having.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed, and this is kind of like the pre-tangential before the clap kind of thing. If you're gonna put a free counterspell into like a casual deck, it's kind of a dick move. Like,
That's
but
yeah.
if you're thinking that you're smart and like if you're thinking that you're cute, like you have the ego to go into a CEDH game with your quote unquote CEDH deck, which is basically a pile of cards that you think is competitive, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
CADH is literally humility dot deck. You think you can
I mean,
run? It's literally you think you can run Thassa's Oracle as fast as humanly possible. By God, it is like I kid you not. It is. I think people are getting the misconception that win at any costs mentality is literally goes absolutely fucking balls to the wall and don't give a shit about your opponents.
Before this gets peachy. Woo! I can run. Yeah, no,
Did you do the clap this time?
No, because I'm pouring my water for my coffee.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Actually,
Well, I guess we have our topic for today.
Okay. Okay.
Even
Okay.
though our
But
title doesn't
how
really
do you?
say so, it says Countdown to Odyssey.
So, so I don't piss you off. How do you want me to do the introduction?
It's Jojo Barrientos, aka Red Phoenix Cast.
It's Jojo Barrientos, aka
AKA
Red Phoenix Cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-copy paste this, so make sure that I get my titles correct. Let's see. I am online on Twitch. We're live on Twitch. You have to create a dashboard on Twitch. Edit stream. This is that. it's like it's Odyssey countdown stream, but we talk about things. Oh, dude, I got a sub. Before we even start, I finally got a sub. It's a friend of mine.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yep. I have a singular sub point. Yay! All right, you ready?
Yes.
Three,
But no.
3, 2.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Kevin Ivasic, aka Ninja Bobcat. We need to think best suits. And Jojo Barrientos, aka Red Phoenix Cast. Welcome to the Red Phoenix Cast live podcast.
That is probably the best one we've done so far. I'm not gonna lie.
It feels like the more we do it, the more natural it becomes.
And then the more natural it becomes, the more it degrades.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm not gonna lie. Huh?
Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. It's like you get there at one point, and then you start making mistakes. You're just like, "Hi guys, it's
I
I
mean,
don't know,
I
it's
mean, I don't
Carl."
really
And
have an intro for my own stream, so I'm gonna be very honest with you on that one. Like it
yeah,
for reals though. Like there is no intro. It is hello. There is probably some preamble, sort of weird stuff that happens for like 10 minutes ish, and then we're in the game.
yes. So last week when we went off air, I tried to do a Honkai stream. Um, I get maybe one person watching, so it was kind of like,
That's good. Like you
it,
could have told me. I would have just lurked. I would just would have sat there and lurked.
I was probably on for a half hour. I was kind of goofing
Dude,
around trying to figure it
that's
out.
more than most. You have
Okay, yeah,
you have exceeded the 90% of the population. Welcome to the
yeah,
streamer life.
yeah. It's not much, but it's an honest living.
I mean, yeah, true.
Hmm.
It's funny because it's like technically I only do this like quote unquote part time for the last like couple of days. Like I've been putting so much time, so much stream time into Elite Dangerous that it's like I didn't stream the week. Like I'm glad I didn't stream the weekends, and I'm so glad I don't stream weekends because it's like I got Otafest this weekend, Otafest online this weekend, and then so that's gonna take all of my time there. I've got then I have like D&D which is like gonna be an absolute nightmare on the Sunday, so I'm gonna be probably exhausted from that, and on top of like there plus Elite Dangerous plus this plus that there's so much to do. Like yesterday, Mass Effect Legendary Edition dropped.
Oh,
Plus
nice.
that dropped. There's also the new expansion for. I should pull it up on Steam because I think I might have needed an update. Yeah, the new Surgency and Sandstorm update queued up. So that's been an absolute. For me, that's been a bit of a turkey shoot. So like I've gotten Exit the 1.10 up. Operation Exodus has dropped, and it's been like I've got to try it earlier and with the new survival co-op mode. It is so fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like after
Still a
that,
lot of
like
good.
I'm gonna be serious, dude. Like there is so much to do, and people who says they have nothing to do feel like I want to be I want to give the biggest bro moment because there's so much to do.
So Savage, he's got absolutely no empathy for people who are just bored at night.
I mean, I don't have
I
I don't have
honest,
empathy for people who don't. I have zero empathy for people who just don't who complain about having nothing to do and then they go do something else, right? So I'm not gonna lie to you, like I don't complain about not having to do anything because
yeah.
there's always something to do.
Holy crap. Yeah. So it's there's definitely a lot to do right now. It's just like
Yeah,
it depends how you want to entertain yourself, and
I should turn
I
up
don't
some.
know.
I
I
should probably fire up some lo-fi.
I quit Honkai and I quit Genshin. Just like Genshin
Wow.
got boring after the first week, and Honkai just like I realized after yesterday where I was pouring like 2 hours into doing Sea of Quanta that just like,
Yeah, I feel that.
what am I actually doing? Getting pissed off at the game that's not even worth my time.
I mean,
um,
that's that's kind of how that works, right? Like you have to like really go hard at it. Which
well, e- go ahead.
yeah, it feels bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's just like I've poured hundreds into it and it's not even worth it anymore. It's just like this is not just a time sink. This is a wallet sink. This is
Yeah.
will willful wallet suicide, and just like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah, I feel that
I'm just,
honestly.
yeah, I might eventually go back to it, but it's highly improbable.
Yeah.
It's highly improbable.
I
Um,
I can't fault you on on something like that where the main issue of that is really just hey, we can't there's not much we can do. Like
no, and
I can't fault you on that at all.
yeah, like it's not even that. It's I don't know. They're fine games for what they are. I'm not gonna tell somebody you shouldn't play because it's garbage. Because it's like whatever. It's not my place to tell people they should or shouldn't enjoy things that they enjoy. And given the nature of our controversial topic and our controversial style,
I mean,
seems a
most of
bit
our style is
hypocritical, but
controversial anyway, so I'm not like really that surprised.
yeah. But it's just like I play. I invested in Gacha lifestyle for a while, and now I'm just like, so well. It's not a thing that I'm hype about anymore. Um, and that's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
God. So I've got my game going. You've got your game going. Jojo, what is our topic today?
What's a surprise? We actually don't have one.
You're joking.
Well, I didn't really set this up for I didn't really set us up for
We,
it, so.
we must fire the writers.
I mean, I would, but
We're the writers. Damn it.
yeah, we're basically the writers here.
Man, that's so, I would hate to be. I do not envy those guys enough. But yeah, we came into this with nothing, ladies and gentlemen, and that is kind of where we are right now.
Surprise.
But not to throw anyone under the bus, because I'm letting them. So, a couple things. First, Odafest is coming up this weekend, like Jojo said. I think the relevant point there is there's been a lot of good anime this season.
Oh, dude, there's been so much.
Yeah, it's been a really solid season, and that's kind of concerning because if we follow the trend of what's it? Well, if we follow the uptrend of how things usually go, like if it's gonna be really good now, there's gonna be a kind of like time where it kind of dips, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that I've been really going hard on. Cause like there's a lot of, even though for me I'm not a big, like I'm not the biggest anime praised fan, but I can respect the fact that a lot of people just, you know, are huge anime fans.
Yeah, I've got one here that a lot of people have kind of been watching. It's sitting on episode 1 for me on my streaming, my free-streaming platform. But like everybody's just like, yeah, this is so good because it's basically what you wouldn't expect out of this kind of show. So there's that. God.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Now I know what's missing from this. Sorry, give me a second. I had a show up called 86, and it's basically just Gundam. It's basically just Gundam, but it's not Gundam because they are clearly not Gundam, according to them.
They're clearly not Gundam according to them. But like,
Yes,
is it? It's got the stylistic choices of Gundam. Got like this. It's got, you know, it's got like the styling of Gundam and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, except the mechs this time are spiders.
Eh.
So it's Gundam in Australia.
That's basically Gundam.
It's Australian Gundam.
Yeah, that's as close as they can get with that. Yeah.
Also, Giga totally throwing Hiroyuki Sawano under the bus.
I mean, what else is new?
Because the composer for the show is that man, Hiroyuki Sawano, and in Giga's seasonal review, he's like, "Oh wow, I wouldn't have guessed." So,
That really doesn't surprise me all that much at all. Like, I'm being honest with you, Giga throwing anybody under the bus does not surprise me whatsoever.
it honestly doesn't surprise me either, but I'll be honest, I don't disagree with him on this topic because Sawano is kind of one note. Like, I like his music, but the guy is really one note.
Yeah.
You sit him in front of a synth and he'll pour out the same thing, but like it will be a different variation each time, right?
Yeah, I honestly, it's been such. I would love to just be like the kind of person right now to tell it to say, hey man, you need to change shit up. But I know for a fact that there's already somebody like that's screaming at him. They'd be like, yo man, you actually need to change shit up.
I think because his career's kind of built on it, and most anime fans, or at least most younger anime fans, don't really know the difference. It's like, why does Lisa keep getting jobs to do openings and stuff?
Mhm.
It's because most people don't really,
I mean, you could
know the
do
difference.
worse. I like there is a lot of people putting freaking Dear Maria as an anime intro sequence. So
Why?
I like it fits. I can't like contest him on that. It does. And should I be mad about
Yeah.
it? Probably. Am I mad about it? No, because I don't have the energy to give to it. That's the only
Yeah,
case. It's like, should I be mad about this? Probably. Am I gonna be mad about this? No, because it's a lot of energy.
well, that's exactly it. Like, should you be,
Do I actually
should you
give a
really
shit?
care about it?
Do I actually give a shit?
Yeah. You're basically 30 without being 30.
I mean, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, like this came up on the weekend, and this kind of came up in the Trash Days podcast as well. It's just like, at 30, do you just stop giving a fuck?
I mean,
And
I
it's
think
like,
I think
yes.
when you hit your mid-20s, you should have stopped giving a fuck. Like, you should start to stop giving a fuck. Like, if you are still giving a
Yeah.
fuck when you're 25, like, you're wasting a lot of energy to do basically nothing. By 30,
Well,
by 30, you should. By 30, like, there's so many other expectations put on you that there's a lot of fucks you can't give.
I mean, this podcast and I don't like it.
Dude, I'm 27.
But
I'm 27 and I can give less of a fuck about some things, because it's like, if you're gonna spend this much time on a small thing, I could give less of a shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. I literally can't. Everything in my being says I want to care, but everything in my being just says nah. Caring right now has a very little precedence over many other things.
Yeah. Well, you might be like just the weird evolutionary leap there of mental maturity, because it's just like, I know 25 is your quarter life crisis, and then everything leading up to 30 is just like, wow.
You go through your quarter life crisis, and you kind of just have this mental shift of like, I'm not married. Everyone around me is either married or married with kids. And what the fuck am I doing?
I've noticed too, and maybe like I'm just looking at anecdotal evidence, but like, if you have kids before you hit 30, you are effectively trapped in your mental state until your kids reach a certain age.
Yeah.
Like, you do not have an appreciation for what you like experienced as a parent until you get to a certain point with your kids, and just like, wow, actually, I was a dumbass for doing this so early.
Yeah.
My mental capacity for giving a fuck was topped out, and I was trying to do this thing that I should have waited on.
I mean, there's a lot of people that I could tell this to. It's just like, dude, you are putting way too much energy into something that you shouldn't.
Yeah, like my sister had a child out of wedlock, and like she was like 23, 24. Like, that's the worst time to have a child, because your quarter life crisis is coming up. If you cannot,
I don't think that even at 20 or anything between, I'd say 20 20 and 23, if you're gonna have a child, then oh my god, you're in my opinion, that's I think 30's okay. Like 30's okay. Like
Yeah.
27 to 30's sure.
A good
26,
range
25 is
because
kind of dicey, and then anything below that, it just starts going. It goes downhill very quickly.
yeah, because like I've noticed you don't have that mental like maturity there. Because like when you hit 25, you start getting into the depression sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I'm done for the day. It is only noon and I am done for the day. We scared away our one viewer.
I
But
welcome to the show.
yeah,
We
welcome to the show. We're gonna
deep dive into things topics that we maybe shouldn't talk about. Maybe.
I don't know though, because like discomfort, like things that make people slightly uncomfortable, I think
It's a
need
must
to be
hear.
touched upon.
It's things you must hear, not things you want to hear.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of that kind of podcast where we will say things people need to hear simply for the sake of like stop being stupid,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go and be stupid. Do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah, basically.
But like, yeah, like I was saying, at around 25, you're gonna go through some really heavy crap, and the last thing you want is an extra person standing around, basically, screaming into your ear 24/7.
Yeah, and that's kind of the one thing that I particularly have like for it. It's just I've already said this ago once already, and I've already stated like I put my foot down on it. I'm like, I don't want to have a kid when I'm young, ever. And
yeah, no,
I'm
'cause
glad.
it's
Like I said that was when I wasn't ready. I am just starting to think about getting into the dating game, and I looked at it and I'm like, are you kidding me? There is so much nuance and so much like crazy detail that I'm like, to this, it's strictly worst for me in my honest opinion.
yeah,
Due to other things.
I've
But
honestly
at
learned.
the same time, but I'm realizing really quickly that the social pressure of going through dating, I can understand why people are staying single.
Yeah, it's not even that like there's any inherent negativity or toxicity attached to it. It's like it's kind of like, do I really want to put the time and energy into learning the ropes and kind of like learning how not to let this thing. Like the biggest thing about it I found is, sorry, get instructed here.
Yeah. Like,
Is that like if you put more time and energy into someone than they are willing to put into you, then like the relationship's not going to go anywhere. It's a completely toxic situation that you're subjecting yourself to for the sake of saying, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna commit myself 100% to you and get nothing from it." And just like at one point, you kind of like. I think this also comes from dating a lot and specifically having that raw emotional connection that if something never happened, you'd be completely, utterly broken by it, but also not.
like I actually had that phase already done, and I've gone through it like that, and like I realized now that the breakup was actually much less problematic than I
Like,
thought it would be, because it's like, oh wait a minute, think about this for a second, Joe. You tried to date a girl in high school when clearly she was like, "Oh, this is a joke. I'm gonna just date this random dude from this like small from whatever, like he's gonna be super happy about it." And I was like physically and mentally preparing. So when I got the text message, it's like, "Hey, we're not dating anymore." That sucks because I had shit planned, ready to go. So
Oh no, I went deep with this.
yeah,
We got a promise ring set up and everything. Oh.
oh wow, you went deeper than I did. Shit.
Yeah. But it was just like by the end of it, I realized I spent like a good couple of months just like agonizing over it. But like after I got over it, just like considering all the like negative shit I've realized about this person, like did I really want to spend the rest of my life with him, or was it just like this was the best thing I had going in a sea of I guess I'm gonna say poop here, in a sea of crap, and I was just kind of like clinging to that one thing that I already knew was gonna basically crash and burn, because at the end of the day, like what I figured out was
Hmm.
given her prior relationship history, um and especially she dated a guy who uh, was known for basically screwing around behind girls' backs and making up shit like, "Oh yeah, I work this job," or or I'm in the hospital. It's basically one of those types of guys, and like she legitimately believed that he was in love with her and all this stuff for her. No, it's just like he was just fucking around with you, and she's like, "Well, I don't know that, like." Maybe he's lying, maybe he's not. It's just like, really?
Like
It's just like,
my question is like, why would you put yourself through that trauma, right? Like there's so
yeah,
much you could have done. For the fact of the matter is, there is so much you could have done. Where in reality, I think a lot of people that are thinking that they're gonna be they're gonna be smart and be like, "Oh well, I just want to I just want to date these kind of guys or these kind of guys." I'm like, you're just putting a restriction on yourself because reasons.
yeah. With the interest of not sounding like I guess fuck boys here. Like we're not complaining about women with preferences, because
No,
do whatever you want to do.
we don't care.
It's yeah, it's the whole you made a decision where something bad happened, and then you refuse to like learn from that decision. Um, Yeah, it was like last year where her friend died in the summer, and she got back with the guy who was screwing around with her, and it was only for a week, but it took her a week to realize she had no more emotional investment in this guy. Just like,
I mean, I could have told you that, really.
yeah, I'm just like, you needed to date him for a week to figure this out, and it's just like. No, like the last time her and I talked, like she was saying we're never getting back together. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just like, I don't want to. Like, I know
I think
we
some
basically.
people are gonna mistake this for us being say. Here, the thing is, guys, and I mean this in the most respectful way for ladies, but in the essence of just knowing how I've been in the experience of like seeing what a relationship looks like from the outside versus being in that kind of in that situation. I've been in a situation where I've been like the receiving end of friends crying because of
Yeah.
because of things. And there I can't be angry at some certain people for certain things. I can't. I physically do not want to have that. Like, I don't need that capacity as of right now to be like, oh, hey, you know. And do not get this twisted. It's not for me to say I'm being the dick and, you know, being this guy doing this thing. No, it's very based in humility. It's very based in like I just want to be the person who's like, you know, sometimes you gotta eat shit to get to where you gotta go, where you want to be, and it happens, you know. Like you need to understand that. Hey, maybe I'm not gonna be the big person, the big person, right?
Well, and here's the thing, like I like nice guy energy going on here.
Yeah.
It's honestly it's not about we're saying, oh, these girls should date us instead. It's like no, it's the matter of
I
I'm
don't.
using my situation as an
In my
example.
honest
Like,
opinion, if a girl's like, oh well, I don't want to date gamer guys or this kind of guy or this kind of girl, this kind of person, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but sucks to be you, but you know.
well, and it's not even that. It's just like it's after this experience, I'm just sitting there. I'm going, is there really any benefit to continuing this charade of I'm so emotionally, damaged and stuff. Like, and that's I see these kinds of profiles on like chat sites and stuff. It's just like I don't trust anyone anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm damaged and all that shit. I'm just like, grow the fuck up. Like, seriously, get a grip. And
Yeah.
I get it. There are some really intense emotional relationships where
There's some people
one
that are dickbags.
side's
Like that
yeah,
is kind of what it is there. We understand that. We understand that
but
there's gonna be some dicks in the world, but and some douchebags in the world. But that's par for the course. For every
yeah,
person who's nice, there's probably 10 to 15 other guys that are gonna be a complete utter dick. And you have to feel
yeah.
you have to find that wheat through the chaff kind of thing.
I think especially it's a lot more prevalent when people are younger because like I said, there's just a lot going on. Like your mental capacity. Some people are gonna be like, well, teenagers and young adults, they don't really care much. It's like, no, they care a fucking lot. They just put on a front so they don't have to show all the weight they're carrying.
Oh yeah.
It's 100% that. Like I used to do it too. I
It
used to
is literally that. That's no doubt about it.
yeah, like I used to put on that front too. Not well, but I put it on and just like you don't show the stuff that you're carrying on your back because like who your peer group doesn't give a shit. Like that's
Yeah.
what I learned in my youth is any of your friends are not going to give a shit. They're just gonna be like, dude, we're all going through shit. Shut up. Enjoy your card game.
Yeah. I like again
And,
for me. That's also the same for me. It's just like, oh, like nice, you did it. Congrats. Like,
yeah, and it's
I'm sorry. Like, I'm a bit of a dick. I might be the biggest dick here, considering the fact. But like, I for me, I can't just be like, oh hey, you know, I feel bad for you. Because
yeah,
when push comes to shove, I the amount of times where I've been dicked over for certain things is like minuscule,
yeah.
microscope, the minuscule in the comparison, and I have no quandary against people for certain things. However, and this will be in a very in a practical sense of this word, it is easier for me to think about how I would rather spend my time versus how much time I want to spend on doing such a thing.
Yeah, and it really does come down to that. I think it's just like how much time and energy do you want to spend on something that honestly is probably not worth your time.
Yeah. And I could also be wrong, you know? I
Yeah.
could also be there's a part of me where I'm just like, I could literally I could just stand there and be like, okay, yeah, I understand that, you know, some things that happen, whatever. There's so much that could happen versus there's so much that could happen versus there's so much people that needs to understand. Like,
Yeah.
am I gonna be mad about this? Probably not. I can't. I would love to put every single effort into just doing the absolute most I can for somebody. However, if they're not gonna do the same back for me, then I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, well, and that's it. Like, there's gotta be an even payoff. There's gotta be an equal investment, but that's kind of like their version of the Snake Game, our 404 page press is select button. What? Okay then. It really comes down to that. Like, how much are you willing to put in to someone versus how much are you gonna get out of them, right? And is what you're putting in being rewarded on any front? If not, why are you doing it? Welcome to the Red Phoenix Cast, ladies and gentlemen, where
We go deep on
rules are made up.
We don't
Where the
carry
topics-
it. We don't always have a topic, and the numbers don't matter.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's episode 14, but for all you know, it's episode 300.
It's the same thing. I'm sitting here building a ship. I'm building a ship based on statistics and numbers. Why?
Absolutely.
Because I am bored. We have how much time do we have left on this thing? We have 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes to Odyssey, and I'm literally sitting here crossing my fingers going, well, I hope I have enough time to go and engineer my ships when I get back at it. Because I'm going to need to.
Yumika, the Fiverr artist I commissioned, has done a rough draft of the sketches that I was looking to get done.
Nice.
So I posted that to the Discord. I'm content with at least 4 of the characters. The 5th one, I think, has to be. There's definitely something there where once I can pay him or her,
Just say that.
we're definitely gonna get details kind of, figured out. But yeah, is that checked as soon as possible? Yeah. Sweet. So I'm content with it. I think the characters look good enough. Actually, it's that the outfit for one character shouldn't be what it is, or for 2 characters really. Hairstyle for one character is kind of not what I expected for them, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. And lastly, the third character that I have an issue with is like figuring out more physical details, because she's supposed to be older than the rest of the cast, so it's like you need to I guess grind out those details. But yeah, so the first steps of that process are kind of going forward, which I'm happy about.
Yeah. Again, it's just for me. I'm kind of It's not that I'm disinterested. I'm just very like, cool. That's just a neat thing.
Yeah, no. It's something I figured is a side thing that I should mention because I don't know how many people are actually reading that thing.
Yeah.
Like they do show statistics. I think I need a better platform for it, to be honest.
It could.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely need that better platform. What the fuck? What is this? Okay, I'm gonna have to set. What's it called? Something of the Iron Fortress.
I got nothing for you here, bud.
There we go. Cabin area of the Iron Fortress. Okay, I might have to, cause she's fucking doing some gun fu there with a flintlock rifle. How do you turn a flintlock rifle into a gun kata weapon? I don't know. Anyways, on the topic of anime, because we kind of went on a side tangent about how dating sucks and people suck and never do it either.
I mean, let's be real with ourselves. Don't we already do that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it right now. Trigger needs to stick to doing basically Gridman adaptations or doing the thing with the Gridman universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they shine. S S S S S S S S S and S Dynazemon. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking butcher this name. It's good. It's kind of like what you expect from Tokusatsu or what was it called? Or Kaiju show. But it's not gonna do anything special. I think if you're gonna get stimulated by something, you're probably gonna be going and watching To Your Eternity. Which, have you picked it up, JoJo?
Can't say that I have, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, because all the hype around it is not like overblown. It's definitely that show that if you want to, I guess if you're gonna pick up one show this season, it's got to be that one.
Okay. Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
Kind of following.
It's the animation is pretty solid, and the writing is there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first episode, everyone's just like, "I cried like a bitch." And it's just like, it's actually an episode where if you know how to get emotionally invested in characters, is definitely gonna make you cry.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's like on that topic, on the topic of making people cry via anime shows. I watched the kind of the middle and the tail end of hang on, it's Mugen Train, but like I can't remember the exact full title of it.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer Kizumo Yaiba the movie Mugen Train. Got it. I had to Google that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that was a really good one.
Holy fuck, did that hit?
Uh-oh.
Not gonna lie. Big Sag at the end. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my piece about it.
Is it actually out of shitty cam rip territory? Like it's actually watchable now?
No. I mean, it hits the feels.
No. But like, is it? Because I saw someone saying they got it off of Neon. So is it like out of camera territory?
Mm, what do you mean by out of camera?
I mean, is it like okay? So you know how cam rips work, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh wait, that's a dub. Fuck the dub. Um,
I was gonna say, like,
where it's just
it's related to a character, but that's all I could say. I honestly don't. To preserve the fact of
okay,
spoilers,
okay.
I will say it relates to a character, and that's about it. If you have seen Demon Slayer Mugen Train and you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah. So
then
so
sure.
I was asking like,
However,
is there is? Oh, go ahead.
however, it relates to it relates to a character. Like, it also relates to the main character, and that's all I'm gonna say. That is my piece on it.
Yeah, no.
I do not want to spoil this. This movie actually hits different.
Honestly, I caught Demon Slayer at the tail end of its hype train, where well, just like
It's a good anime. Like,
yeah, like
it feels kind of trashy at some points, but like, for the most part, and I mean this with the most sincere,
the utmost sincerity.
it does
Yeah.
feel a little bit trashy. And I don't have a problem with that in that sense. However, I think people really need to understand that, hey, you know, if you are gonna make an anime that is gonna be a very emotionally, not it's not emotionally scarring, but it's like a very emotional, very high energy anime. Just be prepared for your fans to be very, very drained by the end of it.
Oh yeah, and like I don't even think it's like that. I think it's um for the most part it is a fairly solid series. Like the animation is really on point in a lot of scenes. When they're doing the Bowie stuff, it's not so in your face. That it distracts from the episode. It's just whatever's going on there, right?
Yeah, it's just like I see it, I like it. It's been a good show, been super solid. I just would love to, like, I for a while it's not gonna wrap up, but I think for a good amount of time that it's gonna hold its own peace.
Well, the manga is now wrapped up. Like it's been wrapped up for a little while now, and I think where it has to go now is fully adapting the manga and basically going from there.
Yeah.
The movie's got a full 81% on the streaming service I use for it, so that's a positive thing. Like,
Yeah,
I think it definitely
it's a good feel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say like between the two, um, Catch To Your Eternity and Demon Slayer Eternity Train there or Infinity Train.
Mugen Train. Mugen Train.
Mugen Train, yeah, the Mugen Train. It's Doom Train 2.0.
Took you a couple seconds to try that, to give that a couple of shots, but holy, okay.
Every time Jojo says Mugen Train, take a shot.
I had to tell you 2 times just because you couldn't get the damn title right. Go ahead, damn it, dude.
Hey, it says here Infinity Train, so I don't know. it's Demon Slayer movie Infinity Train. I guess it's Mugen Train, but yeah.
Mugen Train. I don't know if Mugen and same thing. Check that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's just like Mugen, because I thought Mugen was something else. But no, it does mean infinite. Okay, you
Yeah.
learn something new every day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Ah, that's
Which, in essence, it makes sense.
yeah,
It's understandable. Like, it makes sense. But,
yeah. We might be the monkey brain. We might be the smooth brains here.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I just like I said, I'm loving To Your Eternity. We just had another emotional moment in the show, and it's just like, come on, man, come on. I was just over the first episode. You do this to me. Why you gotta do this to me? It's like, oh god, it was like it was episode 5. You're just like coming out of it, just like, you know what? I'm alright. I'm alright. I was. It was a little touch and go there, but I'm good. Episode 5 hits. Come on.
I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, just like, I can't do this anymore. It's basically let me find the studio name because we got a Tommy Wiseau moment here. Oh god, brain space. God damn it. Just like, you are tearing me apart, brain space.
My gosh.
I did not buy the box set. I did not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's licensed by Crunchyroll. Can we talk about Crunchyroll for a moment?
Yeah, go nuts. If you want to talk Crunchyroll, you can
Um,
touch Crunchyroll. I'm like, this is kind of your show anyway.
I'm gonna slightly touch upon this. Crunchyroll, don't do your own anime.
Oh no.
Dear God.
I'm
I
automatically scared.
X-Arm. That's it. X-Arm.
Elaborate a little bit more than that.
So last season, Crunchyroll did their own anime, and they are the biggest anime streaming service, bar none. Which means that they basically have all the industry insights. Like if they needed top tier voice actors, if they needed top tier composers, if they needed top tier animation directors and artists and all that stuff, I don't doubt that they could have made it happen. So, Jojo, do you want to guess what they went with? They went with a 90s. They basically went with a band that are basically an early 2000s Sum 41 cover band for their opening.
Oh no.
The animation looks like early seasons of Reboot, and for anyone who doesn't know, Reboot is a Canadian CGI series from the 90s. The very early seasons were really, it did not translate well. It did not age well. Like season 3 onwards is where the Solid absolutely hit its high point. But yeah, season 1, everything was very stiff, very awkward. This is an entire season of an anime done in CG that from the 90s looked bad.
Oh.
Yeah, they went with basically industry newbies and a director who's only ever done live action movies. There were decisions made. there were a lot of bad decisions made.
Uh,
uh,
honestly, I think. Oh man, I want to have an opinion about this. I just don't really have one because there's not a lot for me to go off of on that. I would need to see it to really understand it, or at least see the trailer to really understand it. So it's like for me, I'd rather see how bad it is before giving my opinion.
oh no, it's the one that I linked you a long time back. X-Arm. That opening and that opening.
Let me peek this real fast. You linked a lot of shit. We linked a lot of shit.
I've been sharing some stuff.
I mean,
the best anime over.
That's kind of an understatement. Dude, we like we literally shared like fucking the English VTubers out of context video.
There you go. I posted it to you.
Okay. See that?
But yeah, no, it was just I don't know who approved
this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, can I stop for a second? Can we? I want to roll this back. Why does Akira's eyes look like he's about to fucking murder someone?
Why do all their eyes look like that?
Like,
what the hell is wrong with their eyes?
I should not be ranting considering the fact I need to do something really quickly, but like, bruh, calm the fuck down.
Oh no, these are models that are 100% used in the show. Like, there's no variation between expressions, and that's kind of terrifying. Because one of the things with it is you're one of the largest anime streaming services, and you cannot manage to get in not just industry veterans, but people who actively want to do amazing stuff. I think getting this adaptation off the ground would have really kind of elevated the impression for Crunchyroll from people who are, I don't know, maybe on the fence about their service in general, or I don't know, figure it's about time they started carrying their own show. This was not the way to go about it, and I feel like they dropped the ball with intention to do great things.
Yeah.
And from there, kind of didn't know how, because the director on Twitter was like pushing this thing. He's like, "This is the greatest work ever done." It's just like, and even
okay,
the voice.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I can compare this to Darling in the Franxx, and Darling in the Franxx looks better, that's a problem.
Yeah, Jesus fuck.
Like, the low bar, in my honest opinion, has become Darling in the Franxx. Or as Garnt, it's not. Is it Garnt?
I think it might be Garnt.
I think it might be Garnt. Darling in the Friend XX.
Yeah. Honestly, Darling in the Franxx had some good world building up to episode 19, where they just completely crapped the bed. And
I mean, I could have told you that.
And this kind of like goes back to my semi-rant about Trigger needs to stick with Tokusetsu or Tokusensei's, wherever it is, and Kaiju stuff, because they default to it was aliens all the time.
No.
And
no, don't default to that.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
they had a show that basically tried to compete with B Stars called Brand New Animal. It ran for 12 episodes, and a lot of the stuff like race relations and like
Boo.
that kind of thing they tried to touch upon. They didn't actually give any kind of satisfying answer to it. Just like, yeah, people hate people who are not the same. Okay, cool. Like, what's this show's resolution? Nothing. We're just gonna have the people who are also animals go berserk and have a really easy, non-messy cleanup of it. It's just like, okay, but what happens when they go berserk again? Oh, don't think about it. It's just, it feels so lazy, and I think they kind of take these projects on with the intent of saying something, but they don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, your homie. That is, in my opinion, ugh.
Yeah, it's just like, don't do a show. Well, it's also the kind of like the biggest glaring flaw of Promare. That firefighter movie they did
But
in
no, here's
2019.
the thing with Promare is Promare was actually good. I
Oh, yeah,
cannot
don't get-
contest I cannot contest the fact that Promare wasn't great, but it's like Promare was great.
It was, yeah, like I said, the I want to say schizophrenic nature of its art was of its animation was kind of like it was distracting at points, but it wasn't such a big glaring flaw that I'm gonna hold it against the movie. I think definitely they could have slowed down in parts and been like, you know what, let's get our color palette settled away. But no, like Promare's just like, well, here's the thing about racism. It's just like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? It was aliens.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like, when I hear it's like, oh, it was aliens, I'm like, that's like not a thing, dude.
no, but like in Promare, it was aliens. It's just like aliens made people different, okay, but don't you want to have a much better story about accepting people who are different? No, it was aliens. We get rid of the aliens, the problem solved. Um, cool. But like that's the thing. The movie itself was fine. I think, I guess the sub theme of wherever they were going for was it really translated poorly, and I think they could have done a lot more with it. I think the palette was a little bit too frenetic at points, but that's about it. Like, otherwise, it's a great movie. I would recommend it for the sake of it really knows its genre. It's genre savvy. It knows how absolutely ridiculous it is trying to be, and it does not give a damn. It's basically Gurren Lagann with firefighters.
It's interesting you actually say it that way.
Yeah, like I liked Gurren Lagann. The obvious issues with it are easy to overlook because it's so over the top and it knows it's over the top. It's just that it has no dams to care about how over the top it is. It's aware of itself.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that I love about shows like that. There's some things that I absolutely love about shows like that, especially like Promare, which is like it understands that it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like one of the jokes that I loved in Promare, especially like like I won't give the joke away, but that scene where they go into the lab there and like, you know, they get that thing, and the doctor basically explains what he named it. I'm just like, yeah, okay, and then he goes on to say, oh yeah, if you guys hadn't come along, type of thing, and it's just like, okay, man.
I'm about to do this man dirty.
Well, it's just like no, it was a great joke, and I know some people talk about like going too long for a joke, but this was the perfect. This joke is going on for too long moment. It's just like it's going on longer than the joke should, but it's building on itself. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, okay, this is a dumb joke, but I like it. I love it. 10 out of 10 movie saved with that moment alone.
It's like lol, nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's also why I liked Kill la Kill. Like you were saying, like they're shows that are aware of themselves and they just do what they do.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, like I don't know. Have you seen Kill la Kill?
A bit of it, yeah. I've seen a bit of Kill la Kill. Like there is a lot of it where I enjoy. Like I enjoy Kill la Kill for it being such a ridiculously dumb show sometimes.
Yeah, like it's the magical girl genre, except they're taking the piss out of it.
I mean, it intentionally shits on the magical girl franchise, that magical girl series, which is fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's honestly just like if Trigger focuses on doing that stuff and like guys, you can have It Was Aliens All Along all you want, but don't hesitate to make your whole shtick we're pissing on other genres.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like do not hesitate because you obviously know what you're doing when you're trying to just like go over the top and have fun with things.
And that's kind of the fun thing I love about like Kill la Kill is just like it understands it's ridiculous. Again, like there's no need to I'm gonna be ridiculous. Like we get it. You're gonna be there's a little bit of absurdity. There's gonna be some ridiculousness that doesn't make any sort of sense. And
yeah,
we understand that it's just like, oh, cool, that's just a thing.
Yeah, I especially loved in Kill la Kill the horizontal wall walk. It was basically just them tilting the camera. well, Satsuki was doing a normal walking animation.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like it was the dumbest thing, and somebody posted on 4chan. I was like, "Oh, look how bad the animation is." And I'm like, "That was intentional, my guy."
Like the person who's screaming, "Oh, look at the animation! It's so bad." I'm like,
yes,
bro, get bent.
That was intentional, sir.
Like, dude, are you serious right now?
Like I can't. Oh,
yeah, no, I'm with you on this. Like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that people are being such a dingus about it. We're like, you know, like, it's cute, but like, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's just like that's exactly it. Though is Kill la Kill was fully aware that it was magical girl schlock, and it was intentionally trying to show how schlocky magical girl genre could be.
Yeah,
It was.
I mean, I could have told you that, dude. That's like not hard.
Yeah, and like if you, I think that's where Trigger has to kind of like enjoy itself too, is because when they're doing serious stuff like Darling in the Franxx, they have solid storytelling up to a point, and that point gets to the whole resolution of the series. Like, if I think they're so used to the scale being so huge and the setting being so outlandish that something, I guess, more grounded like Darling in the Franxx kind of it loses steam very quickly. Because like the people at Trigger don't really have that sense of scale of pacing, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at stuff like Gurren, and you look at stuff like I guess you could argue that with Gainax when those people were at Gainax, like you had Evangelion, right?
Yeah, and I could agree with you on that front. I can agree with you on that front, considering the fact that there's a lot of things that are already good about Kill la Kill. Like Gurren Lagann, I would say in the same vein. Like that Promare was in the same vein. There's so many things that were good about those shows, and a lot of people would just go poo poo on it and just are like, oh well, the animation was poor, and I'm like what the heck are you expecting?
Yeah.
Like fucking Avatar levels shit? Like, come on.
I will say when I got into Avatar, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was just like kiddie stuff. We can't kill anyone because this is kid show, but like a lot of the stuff they touched on, I was
Oh no,
not
no, no,
expecting.
not that Avatar. I mean the James Cameron.
Oh, okay,
James
yeah.
Cameron Avatar. Because technically,
Yeah, no,
it counts as an animation. I know it's not the same as like the actual Avatar where it's like, oh, the Avatar Aang doesn't actually do combat. He's just 95% self-defense all the time. I understand that.
Yeah,
but it's just like you need to defend yourself there, buddy.
yeah, no, I liked Avatar, the animation Avatar. I thought it was really solid for what it was. I think that's all I can really say on it. Like, it's obviously like geared towards kids, but I would challenge anyone to tell me that an adult can't enjoy it just as much, probably more so.
I bet you somebody will try.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, okay, there are things in this show that equal amounts of kids and also adults can kind of like relate to.
Yeah.
So, come at me. DM me.
Yeah. And no, but that also makes a lot of sense. Where you're really right about a lot of it, because in reality, there is not much a lot of people could say that, it's like, oh, but this was already supposed to be this way, right? Like somebody can run in and be like, oh, but the animation was bad, but are you saying this just to be a dingus? Or are you trying to say, hey, this could have been improved via this way. This could have been, you could have taken this route instead of be like, oh, this is bad. Like,
yeah.
So,
Well, it's
I don't know.
It's like my relationship with Sword Art Online. Like, at points, the show has some really solid fight choreography, and I will give it that. What the heck are you doing with our title?
I'm trying to resize it. It was not fitting up stuff.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we screw with the title sometimes. Tomorrow it will.
Hey,
Tomorrow it will be in Technicolor.
Hey. I do the back end stuff. You talk about random shit. Let me do my thing.
We are a coordinated mess.
I mean, we were never. This is if you
The-
if you guys were expecting like prime story arcs, like driven content to like the nth degree of a level of podcast, this is not it.
Can we touch upon a certain other podcast here?
Sure.
Joe Rogan made a really, really controversial statement. I think the guy needs to be tracked if he hasn't already. He said, if you are young and healthy, you do not need the vaccine.
You know what? Yeah. Do you know
Buddy.
do you know what's weird? I agree with that. I agree with that.
It's not.
I can understand that in a way that it's just like it makes sense, right? Because what is a virus can yes you can be infected with a virus and still be fine. That is understandable and it makes a lot of sense. Here's the thing. To what I've done on this for research on this virus, it mostly affects the bad portions of what humans have been doing. So it's like, if you've been eating well, have you been exercising well, have you been doing like a ton of other things that make that keeps you relatively in good shape. I don't think that the Joe Rogan story of, hey, maybe this virus was not as bad as we thought, it checks out to me. And I'm not that surprised.
It's actually the variants are affecting people who are younger and healthier.
Yes. Because
But the reason why you get the vaccine when you are young and healthy is not preventative. It has a twofold purpose. The first purpose is that it prevents you from getting it, and let's assume that you're not going to get
the point of a
sick.
vaccine is a preventive measure. You're trying to prepare your body by building immunity to it. That's
Well,
it's a preventative measure in that statement.
yeah.
You are
Here's the
trying
thing.
to prevent something from happening by
Yeah.
immunizing yourself against it.
So here's the thing. It's not just that. It's if you get it, but you don't get sick from it, you are still a vector for spread. And the more it spreads, the more information it picks up about different body types, about different cell compositions, that type of thing.
Okay, then that defeats that automatically defeats the purpose of immunization.
No, because immunization teaches your body what to look for, and then helps your body develop a way to combat it so that if you pick up a strain, even if you don't get sick from it, your body will effectively kill that strain where it is.
But
and that's the reason why you would get.
Here's the thing. If your body is fending off a virus, it technically is sick, right?
Technically, yes.
That automatically contradicts the statement you said just 30 seconds ago. Automatically.
In what way?
Because you cannot there is no point if this virus has entered your physical being, your physical body, and you may not feel might not have any symptoms, but you are sick. You are fending off this your body is fending off this virus. That you may not show symptoms. No, there is a difference. You may not show symptoms of sickness. However, if your body is still fending off a virus, you're defending against the sickness. and that's where
But
I'm
that
seeing the
presumes-
contradiction.
But that presumes that asymptomatic persons are actually fending off the virus and not just acting as a host to it. Because we have a lot of shit in our bodies that we are host to. Like, biology is a
that's
really
kind of
stupid
how
thing.
humans work, dude.
Yeah,
Do you,
but
I think people underestimate like how much actual things that the human body actually has on. But here's the thing. It's not all bad. Like, seriously,
no.
we need the cultures in our gut to be healthy. That way we can digest food.
Yeah, and so here's the thing for me is that being asymptomatic does not necessarily mean you're sick. And being sick and your body basically dealing with the virus on its own does not necessarily suggest that you're sick either, which is where I set up the technically yes. Because you could have a virus, your body can just dispose of it without you ever experiencing any kind of symptoms or anything.
I agree with you on that. There is a way where the body does not show symptoms. However, it is able to just deal with the virus and just like, okay, I know what this is. I've already dealt with it. The problem was already dealt with. We've contained it. Now we need to eject it out of the body.
There's instances too where your body picks something up and then just like, nope, you're out. This is like it doesn't even show up on your body's radar type of thing.
No, but
your body just.
I disagree. I will disagree there because it will show up on the body's radar. If a virus has into your system, the surrounding area will be notified of that.
Yeah, but like your body doesn't really react.
It won't have the same reaction as a full-blown like cold or like a full-blown cold or flu, which most people get over in like a week or two. But
in the go ahead
again. You may not show any particular symptoms. However, it does not mean your body is not fending off a cold, fending this off. Don't get it twisted. And that's where
100% could be that.
Yeah. It's the difference between the problem here the reason why I understand where Joe Rogan's coming from is because I think I've heard that portion of that episode before. And like, if you really go and listen to like what he's saying and just kind of break it down and think about it for a second, a lot of it makes a lot of sense. Because
it does. Go ahead.
There's a lot of stuff that our body actually is already immune to. And you really need to think about that for a second, because it's like the amount of immunity we have actually in just within ourselves alone takes care of a lot of viruses and a lot of things that could go possibly.
You're not wrong. The thing with it is we do still get the flu. Viruses are always changing, which is my point about how something like what Joe Rogan said is dangerous, because it overlooks the fact that
I don't disagree with the fact that like there's some viruses that are just like, yes, you need a full immunity to, or a proper immunization against. I also think that not every single thing needs to be like, oh, we need 100% immunization. You know, like.
Well, no, a virus you're not going to get 100% immunized to. These are a constantly changing life form that will attack you relentlessly if you don't get the proper inoculation against it. Because it's always looking to learn and improve upon itself. It's your crappy it's your crappy son. He says he's gonna do guitar for like a month, and then he moves on to
Yeah.
that's basically what a virus is. It does guitar for a month and then moves on to woodworking. Which is kind of like my point about the dangers of saying things like that without prefacing it with this is my opinion, but because you kind of present the wrong premise with it is like, oh, well, I don't need a fucking vaccine in order to live my life, and just like
that's where I think a lot of people are going to get this twisted. I don't. It's not that I don't agree that not everybody needs not everybody gonna need an immunization, not everybody gonna need this, not gonna need that. I understand there is some things that are gonna be like, hey, being immunized from certain things is not a bad idea. I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna spend all of my time just be like, I disagree with this, I agree with this, I disagree with this idea, I agree with this. To be fair, there's a lot of things I disagree with. There's also a lot of things I also agree with. Is it normal for me to be like, oh, I don't see this, why does this need to be an absolute thing? Is because I'm thinking to myself, hey, there's no way in hell, there's two parts of it. One, I understand immunization might be very difficult. Impossibly difficult.
In what way?
As in, give me a second. I need to gather my thoughts on this one. You said it yourself.
No.
You said it. I think you said it correctly. Where it's the two-parter of you can never get 100% immunity. I think that's the part I was talking about.
Yeah, and you're right. It's immunization, or I guess vaccination, is not about 100% immunity. I think anybody who is pushing that narrative is just as bad, if not worse, than Joe Rogan, because you're presenting false information in the hopes of
I don't think it's false information.
Pushing
I think there's some backing to it.
Well, 100% immunization.
If he was actually trying to prove a false narrative, that's a different story. But if he's presenting an idea with factual evidence, we should consider taking that into consideration versus just dismissing it as just fake, as a fake fact.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I said, I think if he had presented it as, well, this is my opinion, but
yeah,
there's no cause for concern if you're healthy. Well, no, the UK,
it's how he words it, right? It's really depending on how he words this.
Yeah, my thing with it is, what we need now is for people to encourage vaccinations, because what it comes down to is, do we say if you're healthy it's fine, the variants won't get you, but there's a guy who's in his late 20s a few weeks ago who was actually put in the ICU with a variant, and he came out of it, and the variant hit him so hard that he has to get physical therapy just to learn how to. Like if you're talking about you're healthy and stuff, like guy, it's not a matter of if you're healthy anymore. It's a matter of this thing is gonna hit you, and either your body's gonna be able to fight it off, or you're gonna be so debilitated that by the time you come out of it, you're gonna either have long term issues, or you're just like it's gonna ruin your life for a while.
Mhm.
And I think the biggest issue is, do you then push a narrative of if you're healthy, you don't have to worry, you can hold off on getting the vaccine, or do you push the narrative of this is my opinion, but you don't necessarily have to get the vaccine. I would highly encourage you to, but if you're healthy enough and you can handle the virus enough, I would say let somebody who is more at risk uh, take your spot in line, because at the end of the day, it's better to get people who are higher risk inoculated, but still get your vaccine.
No, that's
I don't.
100% fair.
Yeah, and I think if Joe Rogan had presented as that rather than, oh yeah, you're healthy, don't worry about it. And like you said, it's the context, but I think it's in this situation, he set himself up for uh, no context criticism. Um, and like, not for nothing, Joe, the podcasts that I've seen of him have been solid, and like I honestly recommend him as just like if you want a podcast where I guess a UFC announcer slash comedian slash just cool guy
No, he's a
is
good
shooting
guy.
the shit with guests. Yeah, like he seems like the type of guy like I wouldn't mind having a beer with. We could probably like debate some topics, but it's not everybody's gonna have that insight into the personality to kind of like understand that where he's coming from is he's not a professional. He's not like educated in this area, so his opinion has to be taken as well. Like this is just what I see and this is what I believe, type of thing, right?
Mhm.
Which is kind of like where this tangent is going is you need to kind of be careful, especially nowadays, and we talked about this too with cancel culture, is you have to be super careful about how you say things and the types of things that you're going to say. That coming from us.
Sorry, I'm playing Magic right now as well. I'm like, dude, just double
Oh,
burn
oh,
spells me. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Really gonna just do me like that?
oh no! Like I'm carrying this podcast at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I was saying, like this is one of those things where who are we to talk considering some of the topics we come up with? But I think it also needs to be said from that perspective of like, guy, I get where you're coming from. I get your messaging. I get that you're not saying don't do it, but some people are going to take that out of context and kind of like sell it as a reality that we need to accept. But it also kind of like goes the other way, because if you get vaccine crazy and start pushing the narrative of, oh yeah, you're gonna die if you don't get the vaccine, and like you count this one or two anecdotal moments where it's like, guys, it's gonna kill you because my grandma died or whichever. It's kind of like running the same Joe Rogan narrative, right? I think I'm gonna preface this with, or I'm gonna end this with, I think if you have an opportunity to get the vaccine, get it. I think people who are saying you're totally gonna die without it are really trying to fearmonger.
Yeah, that sounds like fear mongering to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think people who say you don't need it if you're healthy is a really dangerous perspective, and you need to preface that shit with, "This is my opinion, but I think everybody needs to get it. I think um, it really goes a long way towards public health, but also beating this thing so we can get things opened up again. And that's a big thing. Even if you don't want to get the vaccine or you're on the fence about it, that's fine. But if you want to go out and like do things quicker, I think biting the bullet on this one is probably the best strategy. But anyways, that was my tangent about vaccine hesitancy and Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Like, it is what it is, dude.
Uh,
Like, I can't stop people from doing dumb things. Like this guy
No,
who's
and-
burned every single fucking burn spell. Like,
and has still not killed you.
no, he killed me. He had an inescapable blaze. That's stupid. Like,
yeah.
you spent like all this time just removing my board. I'm like, I beat this dude down to 3, and then he goes, inescapable blaze your face, and you're dead. I'm like, the bullshit win. But okay. You play the game to not fucking lose. You know, filthy casual.
Yeah, like I said, it's you and I can't like tell people what to do.
Yeah.
But we can heavily encourage them one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Like my interest of this is on the topic of more of a financial thing. Does the vaccine prevent us from getting ahead financially? If yes, then we need to deal with it. If no, then we should take a measure to figure out why, what is happening, and what can we fix this with.
Yeah, because the coronavirus has definitely hurt us financially. Like, why you would be hesitant to not, why you would be hesitant to fix that with taking the vaccine is, like, I get it. There are some risks with it. I think a lot of the stories are overblown. But yeah. There is something we need to discuss briefly, however briefly. The NPL has been effectively killed. Before anyone loses their mind, it was a Magic Players League. It was basically the top tier, the upper crust of Magic players were in their own league.
He fatal put the fuck? I played Daxos. He instantly fatal pushes it. I'm like, are you fucking dumb? Oh, this dude just has all kinds of removal spells. Oh, burns Censor, Fatal Push, and fucking Bone Crusher Giant. And now he's leaving 2 mana up, so I have to like bait him into this. Whatever.
But yeah, MPL's dead.
He doesn't have counterspell. He brainstorms so I can not play this Buzzer Cut.
And we've lost JoJo.
God damn. Alright, thanks, bud. Take all the time you want here. Just fucking hell. Whatever. That's tilting. Sorry. I'm really annoyed by that.
So yeah, did you see this coming?
It was coming.
Yeah, is like I offered the proposition in case you're like, yeah, no, man, I was fully hyped for this. But it's like, no, everybody saw it coming. A lack of communication about when games were, a lack of effort put into push it, a lack of really planning around it from the get-go. It's not surprised that it died. It's not surprised that they cut it. We actually got into it on Reddit there on our Magic TCG. One guy was like, "Well, where's the evidence that esports will elevate a game?" I'm like, there isn't a game that esports has elevated, is there? It's not like one of the.
It's not intuitive. That's the thing. The problem is here's my thing with Arena, and I really hate the fact that they're pushing Arena as hard as they have been.
Yeah.
Because in this case, there's no reasoning to play. There's no reason to play Arena. There's no.
Well, Magic Online works, but it doesn't.
Like, I understand the fact that some people are like, oh, Arena. To me, I see Arena and I'm like, it's a good product. There's nothing really stopping it from being like half deep. The problem is, it's like the half of it is like really half baked, right? Like, you can't just. I can't find a way to get this any better than it is.
Yeah, that's it.
I try really hard to make it good, but like at the end of the day, like if you can't make a good product, then I'm sorry, that's just it. Your product's just bad. I can't do anything to help you.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. It's if your product is bad, and Arena is really bad, there's really there's no building upon that. Like, you can build it from ground up, but it's very clear to anybody who has ever played Arena or even glanced at it what the flaws are and where improvements need to be made. And like, Wizards is just like, no, we're gonna try to push this without actually making an effort. Like, I was discussing this with a Discord buddy, is you look at something like League of Legends Wild Rift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been up-ping issues where the ping has just been completely foobered, and you're in a game, and that's like not an experience you want to have. But the fact that they effectively ported League of Legends onto the phone is already.
Get out of here! You don't deserve your Gold 1 status with that deck. Get out of here.
The fact that they already ported League of Legends onto a phone is ambitious as fuck. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
No, it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I get that. Like, a lot of people are gonna be like, well, it's not that technically unique or anything. It's like, the point about it is, like, League of Legends is a big game.
It's consistently the number one. Actually, hang on. Let me check this number. Let me check the number. Because I know it comes up for me, and I'm actually kind of wanting to know. Let's see. Right now, it's 250 currently at the time of recording, so at 11:45 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so 10:45 a.m. Pacific. It has 257,000 viewers. It's fourth, being beat out by Grand Theft Auto, Just Chatting, and Call of Duty Warzone. But that's at its low.
Yeah. It is a huge game.
I'm pulling up some charts and statistics here for games. Yeah. I don't count. I'm gonna knock out just chatting because that's technically not a game. So technically, GTA and Warzone kind of beats out currently, but League has probably the most consistent watch base. Period. End of story.
Yeah,
And
let's put it this way.
Its peaks and valleys have been so very minimal. Like we got like a massive monstrous peak at like January 2021 when nobody was doing anything. And I think that's fine. And because you think about it in this case, we are in the depths of MSI. The mid-season invitational. We're on an off week. I'm pretty sure MSI doesn't kick in till. Sorry, I'm pulling the schedule out right now. The next best of 5 doesn't kick off till this Friday with PSG Talon versus Royal Never Give Up. In my opinion, this is big. But it's pro. This is like the pro league of League of Legends. So, I'm kind of not the most high on it. However, it's still big. MSI is a big deal, and it rakes in.
Yeah.
It rakes in as much viewers. Rakes in as much viewer base as sorry, trying to think of football's main championship.
NFL.
Yeah, it's like the Pro Bowl or something, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean.
The NFL. Yeah.
It pulls in as many more than that people for that. The League of Legends end of the year kind of worlds. I'm butchering the crap out of that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, it's worlds. It's just worlds. It's straight up just worlds.
Okay.
Even last year's worlds at in Korea still pulled numbers that were ridiculous. The one in France was probably a little bit less, but even then, it was still the most watched. The first time in China, the first one in China, the KDA, basically the KDA one.
Yeah.
Record-breaking numbers.
That's kind of and that's a thing about it. It's like if you're gonna disqualify.
But the thing is, here's the thing. It's not. I don't think people are watching it for the game anymore, right? Yeah, it's one thing to cheer on your favorite teams and whatnot in the pro scene. It's another to watch it for the spectacle. And boy, howdy, does Riot put on a fucking spectacle.
And that's the thing. I think Riot knows where the money is because, this is kind of my thing with esports in general. If you're gonna disqualify the influence esports can have on your game and stuff, is you gotta kind of be aware of the fact that esports in general aren't just, oh, look at this guy doing this top lane shenanigans or whichever. It goes a lot
There's
deeper
a difference
than that.
between pro scene and someone like your SRO, your Count It Taco, your Bunny Foo-Foos, the world. There's a huge difference between that and that the pro scene and the solo queue grind. It's huge difference. And even if you see like ex pros, like the Demon King himself, sorry, SKT's God damn, I'm blanking. Faker, the Demon King
There you go.
himself. Even if you throw in like Faker in the mix, the fact of the fact of the matter is the numbers don't lie. There is so many people watching League of Legends where whatever kind of content it may be, that there's an overwhelming majority of it.
Yeah, and that's 100% what it comes down to is like esports don't just like influence how many people are going to be watching content related to your game.
Mhm.
They also dictate kind of like the kind of hype you can build around it. And I think
Oh, exactly.
what Wizards gets wrong and what a lot of people, casual onlookers, get wrong about esports is that viewership necessarily translates into money. Viewership doesn't necessarily translate into money. But it's a
Viewership
major
translates.
contributing factor.
Here's the thing: the reason it's not 100% exactly that way. There's a lot of it that's like very nuanced to this. Viewership does not. Yes, viewership does not exactly equal to money, but viewership leads to eyes on ads. Eyes on ads leads to products being bought. Products being bought leads to money, right?
Yeah.
So technically, no. There's not a direct correlation
But also, yes.
from viewers watched to money spent, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, it's not really understanding that those two things. It's a correlation causation type of argument, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't correlate. You don't directly correlate viewers into money. That's not how that science works. It's viewers translate into interest, and interest translates into merchandising, which
I mean,
then translates.
like, if we really want to go down the rabbit hole here, I'd say that just chatting holds. There's a reason why just chatting holds the number one rank on as a Twitch channel, as a Twitch channel something, because people like fucking Asmareth, the whole hot tub stream thing, like what? I can't.
Yeah.
Why?
See, and like hot tub spring.
The
I think
hot tub
Twitch-
meta is, in my honest opinion, the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because it takes away from. The thing is, it takes away from creators that are already like, I'm here to make actual gaming content, versus like, these are my tits. They are here. Yes, they are technically covered.
Actually, Twitch has a rule that you're not allowed to be in any swimwear unless you're in a body of water. That's why the hot tub streams...
that's why we had hot tub meta. That's exactly why we had hot tub meta. It's literally
it's
do you want to be in the less amount of clothes? All right, be in a fucking body of water.
Yeah. I you know what? Respect for the hustle.
I'm not here to knock the hustle, but like that is just so pandering.
Yeah, that's like, you know your audience, but
you understand your audience, but fuck you. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I hate it is painful to go through it all.
I think this is gonna be the only time we mention her, but it's the Belle Delphine issue all over again. You know who you are marked into.
No. Belle Delphine is not the realization of the problem. The problem was already there from the start. Belle Delphine only exploited the problem.
No, but that's what I mean. Like,
But
you
it's
know,
not Belle Delphine. The thing is, Azmareth has been doing this longer than Belle Delphine has.
really?
Yeah, think about it.
Okay, I retract previous statement then.
Azmareth has been doing this kind of like skirting the gray area of where Twitch is allowed to, like, what you're allowed to show versus how much you're getting paid. Way before Belle Delphine, like basically way before Belle Delphine was even legal to do this.
That's I don't know how to feel about that anymore.
Yeah, feel old yet?
Yeah, okay, boo.
Anyways, we are coming up on the 0 hour for the show. We got about 3 minutes left. Anything you want to say before we I do want to have, actually I have one thing to say. I'll go out the door.
Yeah.
For Arena. Stop building the same fucking deck, people. Like, fucking hell. 5 color, like, seriously. I faced off against, like, the same 5 color bullshit decks in arena fucking brawl, and it is boring to play against. It is so boring.
You know what your problem is?
What?
You're playing Brawl.
I mean, yeah, that's. And the funny thing is, here's the funny, stupid part. I go to play Historic Brawl, which is not any better. I'm gonna be very honest. It's not any better.
It's Commander Light.
No, not even close. It's not Commander Light. It's so dull. It is incredibly dull.
Hey, can I? Sorry, go ahead.
The amount of things that I have interest in Brawl is next to zero. The only reason why I play Brawl is just to get the dailies done. It's a grind. And it is literally a grind because I'll get to gold and historic for one season, or like I'll try to push for platinum one season just to make content on my streams. But like, historic is dull and boring. Brawl is dull and boring. I think honestly, Brawl is dull and boring. That way people can play standard on Arena. Draft and standard. That's it. Historic has been so bad at understanding how formats work. Even though there is the tier 2 scene in historic is freaking amazing, because there are decks that people do not understand how to face, or some people will just build I'm not gonna lie. Some people will just literally sit there and just like build like literally time walk decks for the sake of building a time walk deck. And that's just painful to sit through, because you're just like, play this spell, take an extra turn, take an extra turn, play this spell, take an extra turn. And you're just sitting there, and I'm like, are you fucking done yet?
We need Elrond's Epiphany for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, let me just see. I might as well watch some porn while I'm at this, because you're basically jerking yourself off there, bud.
Yeah, but at least once I get satisfaction from it.
Yeah. I kid you not, that deck is so goddamn miserable to play against. I faced it a few times and lost. I have the worst record against it, but it is miserable.
It's honestly why I don't play Arena anymore. Like, amount of fucks I can give to a standard season are
standard.
You would need to...
The only people who play standard are the pros.
And even they kind of get really bored of it. They're just like, "Oh, cool."
Like, yeah, because you can only play Jund Sacrifice so many times before it gets
Yeah,
super
just like
fucking boring.
yeah, just like, "Oh, cool. I guess I'm gonna load up them Twitch subs and you know,
It's
uh,
mentally
take this
taxing.
one
That's the
down."
thing. It is mentally more taxing than League of Legends. I'm going to say this. I could sit through three long games of League of Legends, but I literally cannot sit through 5 games of Historic. Historic or Brawl or Standard. I cannot sit through 5 games of that. I will do one draft, maybe do well, and that's it. That's my content. That's like that's already 3 hours. One draft has already taken me 3 hours. Just to
Oh
play
god,
games.
I hate the people who I hate the draft. One thing I
And
hate about arena draft
here's the
is
crazy thing is. Here's the crazy thing. It's not the premier draft.
oh god, that's even worse.
It's
It's
because
a bot draft.
it's just the bot draft. So I let half the time, like, yeah, the first hour and a half it's me like getting coached on basically how to fucking draft, because I don't know how to fucking draft. Let's be real with you. So let's be real with ourselves. The second half of it is losing to stupid decks that are so poorly drafted that they needed to run 60 fucking cards.
You know what? Yeah, bot draft is it's a garbage fire. I don't. The problem with it is that the bots are so horribly programmed, and you're expected to kind of like live with it.
I mean, you could just
But-
abuse the shit out of it. It's not that hard.
But here's the thing. Here's the real kicker for it is like League of Legends bots are really well designed. Well, I mean, as well designed as they can be.
You're
Obviously-
not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not. I'm just like, I guess like, there's a part of it, or I agree with you on that, but I'm just like, at the same time, they're not great.
But compared to arena bots, they're a fucking step up.
It's a nightmare. Yeah, but like, it's night and day. Like, the arena bot draft, but you have to understand the fact that the arena bot drafts are going off an algorithm.
Oh, that algorithm sucks balls.
Oh no, it is not a good algorithm.
No. And like the implementation is so shoddy. And like I've been in drafts where the bot has sat there for like 2 minutes deciding if it wants to operate that day.
Yeah. And I don't mind like bot drafting, because 95% of the time you're just drafting the hard way anyway. You know, you're doing the bread drafts, or like if there's a certain tribe that you need to be in, you're usually going to try and go into it. Or you're drafting as optimally as you possibly can. And I can understand that, and I respect that. However, what I can't understand versus human bot drafts versus human drafts is that the bot drafts are algorithmically programmed to take certain cards higher than others. So sometimes you just get windmill slammed into a tribe. And boy howdy, do you get all the tribal good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest flaw with the bot draft for arena. Is just like you said, the algorithm says take this card because it is the card that we think would define the meta, and like it doesn't. But the bot has no consciousness beyond I must do this thing. And like it doesn't translate well for students. And when the bot gets decision paralysis, which Can we talk about programming an AI for the intent of being an idiot, and how
Sure, I guess.
like Portal did this as a joke, is making an AI so dumb, like it was programmed to be completely incompetent in every way, shape, and form. And like for some reason, Arena devs did this with intent, and I'm kind of sitting there going, guys, you do realize this was a joke, right?
Yeah.
You don't actually intentionally program your AI to be incompetent. Like, I guess it's supposed to simulate the experience of being in a draft where someone does have decision paralysis.
Yeah,
But
that's a dice call to me.
Yeah, like I gotta level with you guys. Decision paralysis is not fun to sit through. It's like I could be doing 1,000 different better things with my time, and I'm now being forced to sit here and wait for somebody to decide if they want to do something or not. That's not a fun experience at all. But yeah, that's my.
No, you're right about that. That's like the one thing that gets really painful about it.
Yeah. Like, respect to people who will fully sit through decision paralysis. I'm absolutely toxic in the way that I can't do that. If somebody sits there, I start getting visibly annoyed. Like, there's a point where I have to like want to rush them. It might just be my toxic gamer nature. But yeah. Bot draft sucks. I think that's the conclusion here.
I mean, that I could have told you that.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't get the purpose of developing a bot that gets decision paralysis. It's that comic of the guy who invents a screaming robot. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that one. I'm like, eh.
But that's what I. But I'm convinced that the arena devs saw that and said, "That's how we should design this. Design these bots. Screaming robot." It's like, why though? Anyways, sorry, I took over your tangent
That's
here.
fine. Honestly, we need to start wrapping it up though. So, do you have anything before we go out the door?
Oh wow, everybody's coming now. Honestly, I'm kind of like at that point where nothing really big. I'm trying to think of like a really pure happy thing right now. My brain's just blanking. I need to watch more.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, now our numbers are dropping. Nope, I'm good. You can catch me on here on most sites under Ninja Bobcat. Those sites being Twitter, Discord, and even on here at Ninja Bobcat. I guess it's on here, Ninja Bobcat 1.
Yeah.
Jojo?
You can find me on Twitter at Red Phoenix Cast, on Instagram at Red Phoenix Cast, most social media at most Phoenix Cast, except for Facebook, because I don't have Red Phoenix Cast on Facebook. I should, probably will. I'll get around to it eventually. I have a Discord. It's in the link. It's the link in the bio. Whatever. Like, every single thing has a link tree attached to it. Like, seriously. Like, if you don't go to the link tree, you're not gonna get all of it. Anyway. This has been the Red Phoenix Cast. I'm in Red Phoenix cast. Duh. Forehead. We are 48 minutes away from Odyssey, so I should be getting some Odyssey streams over. We're gonna for the live stream, we're gonna send you guys over to emulate a penguin again, because why not? Countdown to Odyssey, 48 minutes to go. Whoop! Hype.
Woo!
I'm gonna run and do some IRL errands and then come back and stream Odyssey. So yeah, see you guys in the afternoon? Question mark.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, go to your stuff.
I'm sending the raid right now.
Oh.
Bye guys.
Bye.